Here we presents the top 5 best DSLR cameras. Starting at number 5, Fujifilm X-T2 Mirrorless. Part and parcel of that 24MP sensor are the 169 phase detection points that we saw in a central square region of the sensor on the XPRO2. Beyond this, the X-T2 now gains an extra 2 columns of 13 contrast detection AF points down each side of the frame, widening its AF area and bringing it to a total of 325 AF points in total. Fujifilm also promises a more powerful processor and revised algorithms, along with faster sensor readout, to improve the camera's speed, regardless of whether it's using a combination of phase detection and contrast detection, or simply the latter alone. But Fujifilm has done more than just do enough. To be able to emblazon the phrase 4K capable on the box, the camera also gains a mic socket and on-screen audio monitoring with the ability to assign mic volume to a FN button. There's also an F-Log flat profile to give flexibility while color grading. The good news is that our first shots of our test scene suggest the camera's 4K footage is much more impressive than the 1080p that the first X-Trans cameras could muster. Fujifilm says it's taken from an area 1.8x larger than the 4K UHD region, which suggests oversampling in each dimension. Combine this with 4K output over HDMI, and the X-T2 looks like the first X-Trans camera that might appeal to shooters interested in shooting both stills and video. For more information and price, check out the product links in description. At number 4. Canon EOS Rebel T6. The Canon EOS Rebel T6 EOS 1300D is a solid, if uninspiring entry-level DSLR, eschewing eye-catching features in favor of solid image quality at a low cost. It's a good option for beginners, but there are better spec'd entry-level DSLRs available, if you're willing to pay a little more. Despite their low price point, entry-level cameras are incredibly important for manufacturers. These are the cameras with which the consumer starts their journey with a brand, and many of those consumers will stay with that brand for a very long time. Because of this, you can get a lot of camera for relatively little money these days. The Canon EOS Rebel T6 EOS 1300D is Canon's latest entry-level proposition, and it's available at a great price for beginners, students, or anyone new to DSLR photography. In fact, it's cheaper than a lot of average compact cameras. The Rebel T6 doesn't represent a major upgrade from its predecessor, however. The EOS Rebel T5 EOS 1200D, which itself was hardly a huge overhaul of the EOS Rebel T4 EOS 1100D. It seems Canon has once again played it relatively safe with the spec sheet, which helps to keep the camera affordable for those all-important entry-level customers. The EOS Rebel T6 EOS 1300D uses the FS lens mount, which is compatible with all of Canon's F range of lenses, so there's a wealth of choice out there to suit all budgets. Halfway of my list at number 3, Nikon D3400 with AFP launched on the market at the end of 2016. Nikon D3400 has long been considered the reference point among the entry-level cameras, the model to look at. It is still a sought-after model by those who haven't decided for a professional camera yet, but has chosen to take a step from bridge or compact cameras. What's the secret of Nikon D3400's success? It's not the cheapest one, nor the best in terms of technology, so? Probably, at Nikon, they found the best possible compromise between budget and performance, especially since the price is not impossible, and the quality is unquestionable. Compared to the 3300 model, Nikon D3400 is far lighter, and has longer battery life, a sexier design, and is also far more powerful. I found a properly bright viewfinder, and a non-touch 3 LCD display. When Nikon D3400 was launched, touchscreen displays were not common, that reproduces faithfully images and details. Chapeau. The test with the standard kit with 18 to 55 VR lens doesn't prove anything but the fact that basic lenses significantly reduce the quality of the images. But with high-quality lenses, Nikon D3400 is very satisfying in terms of sharpness and details, able to amaze those who come from a bridge or a compact camera. And isn't it the ultimate goal of an entry-level camera? My final opinion on Nikon D3400 is extremely positive, and since mine is not a lone voice, there's a reason for that. Considered, as it should be, an entry-level camera, D3400 is more than enough for those who approach the DSLR world. With a light and easy-to-handle camera body, More than decent technical features and an aggressive price, it's no surprise that this camera has become a little classic of the Japanese company. Coming in at number 2. Nikon D3400 DSLR camera. On paper, the Nikon D3400 looks like what you would expect from an entry-level Nikon DSLR. The 24-megapixel sensor is just as good as the best crop sensor cameras on the market, and it really is the primary selling point of this camera for many photographers. On the sports and action side of things, this camera is less impressive, with 5 frames per second and just 11 autofocus points. The D3400 doesn't have many bells and whistles. There is no tilt flip component to the LCD. It's not a touchscreen either. However, you do get Nikon's Snap Bridge functionality, which lets you transfer low-resolution JPEGs automatically to a smartphone as you capture them. Note that the D3400 doesn't have Wi-Fi, which means its implementation of Snap Bridge is somewhat limited, without an option for remote shooting or movie transferring. Compared to its predecessors, the D3400 doesn't add very much. This is not unusual for Nikon these days, frequently adding very few new features when they update their entry-level cameras. Does any of this mean the Nikon D3400 is a bad camera? Far from it. In terms of image quality, this is one of the least expensive cameras on the market to feature such an impressive sensor. If you are taking travel pictures, landscapes, architectural images, portraits, and so on, the D3400 will function akin to higher-end Nikon DSLRs in many ways. But there are plenty of reasons why it is considered Nikon's entry-level DSLR, as you will soon see. For more information and price, check out the product links in description. And number 1. Nikon D3324. 2MP CMOS. One of the biggest camera announcements at 2014's Consumer Electronics Show may well have been the little Nikon D3300 and its collapsible 18 to 55mm f3.55. 6 VR2 lens. It may not shoot 4K video or offer a curved LCD, those shows are all about the tech trends, but it does represent the next generation of Nikon's very popular entry-level DSLR line, and that in itself is noteworthy. The comparison paints a picture of a nicely specified entry-level model with excellent battery life, a new processor and a whole lot of resolution. Aside from the lack of Wi-Fi, there's not much to complain about here, and we don't feel that there's anything that this camera is seriously lacking feature-wise. Without the D5300's built-in Wi-Fi, D3300 owners will need to add Nikon's Wu1, a mobile adapter for connectivity features. The adapter dangles from the camera's AV port, making it possible to wirelessly transfer images to an Android or iOS device. Read more about it in our review of the Nikon D3200. It's available separately for $59.95, £54.99. Nikon's DSLRs aren't by any means the cheapest in their respective classes, and that's true of the D3300. It's about $100 US more than a comparable Canon kit, and costs well over twice as much as the very aggressively priced Sony A3000. For that premium, you get one of the highest resolution APS-C sensors on the market, a very good 1080-60p video spec, and exceptional battery life among other things. It's slightly pricier, but does the feature set justify the tag? Or would your entry-level dollars be better spent elsewhere? I have included these product link in the description. You can check out this link for more information and latest price. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button, share with your friends, and be sure to subscribe.